Hi Tim, how you going?
Yeah, good, thanks.
That's good. It's nice to finally meet you. I know we've had a bit of a interaction via email, so thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, no worries.
Awesome. How's your morning been?
Good, thanks.
That's good. Been up to much?
No, I just went and saw the fam.
Oh, lovely. So
Yeah.
nice. All right. So, as you know, I'm a sports nutrition coach, and I'm just wondering if you've seen a sports nutrition coach before.
No, I haven't actually.
No. Okay. So that's okay. First time. I'm glad you're here with me today. So I'll explain a little bit about my role to you as a sports nutrition coach, and how I can best support you. So my role is to support you with your fueling, nutrition, hydration, and just the mental preparation strategies, so you can perform your best. Now, I don't diagnose medical conditions or provide counselling or therapy, but I do help athletes learn effective tools that can help them perform their best when it comes to nutrition and mindset and things like that. So how does that all sound?
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Amazing. Now, obviously, I'm here to support you and guide you throughout the process, but this is a collaborative process, the way I work. So it's great to get ideas and input from you along the way so that we can help, you reach your success in your chosen sport. So my expectations of you are that you do obviously show up to our sessions and, have a bit of input, ask questions, and just so that we can work together to come up with, good solutions that are going to work for the both of us and that, we're both on board.
Yeah, sure.
Sound pretty comfortable with that?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. So now that you've got a bit about me and my role and how I'm here to support you and my expectations of you, what are your expectations of me?
Just hoping to get some guidance on how to fuel properly so I don't get fatigued in training and in races.
Yeah, for sure.
I also want to perform at my best on the day, and because I get nervous before events, I'm like some help managing that so I feel calmer and more in control.
Yeah.
So I really hope to get some strategies to help me with these things.
Yeah, 100%. That's, definitely what we can work towards together. And I'll be taking some notes throughout the session, just so you know. So just so you're aware, everything we discussed today is private and confidential. So what I write down, I don't share to anyone else unless I do, think there's a risk to yourself of harm or to anyone else or legally required to do so. The other situation obviously is if, say, we need to engage another health professional and, with your consent, we kind of share information.
Yeah.
So is that sort of clear, the privacy and confidentiality? Yeah, amazing. That's all good. And everything is obviously stored, all our notes and everything securely away with, password protected and things like that. Alrighty, so I've had a look over your documents here before you arrived, and I can see you're preparing for a marathon. It's pretty exciting.
Sure is.
Yeah, awesome. So that's a pretty big event. What are you doing at the moment, and what's your goals, I guess?
So I want to get a PB too. So I do one long run per week.
Yeah.
One medium run per week and 3 shorter runs during the week.
Yeah.
And I also do 2 strength sessions at the gym. So I think that's why I would mind some extra help with that.
Yeah, definitely. I can, I think having the right knowledge and the support can definitely be a game changer for improving your performance and just getting the most out of your training and event day performance, which is where I come in, which is really exciting. Now, you did mention previously, I'm having a look obviously again at your documents, that you experienced some fatigue during events. Now, can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I noticed during the events I was getting quite tired.
Yeah.
And feeling a bit weak.
Yeah.
And to get through the marathon, but no matter how hard I worked, I'd still feel that way, and I feel like I get that quite a bit of training too.
Yeah, for sure, which can be really a common kind of feeling during an endurance event, but I can imagine how frustrating that is considering, you train hard by the looks of it, and then having that fatigue kind of kick in can be a bit tricky. But there is good news, obviously. There's things that we can do to improve your energy levels during the events and your training so that you can kind of reach those PBs. How does that sound?
Yeah.
All right, so let's have a look here. You've given me some information just with your height, weight, and activity levels. So I did a few calculations before we kind of met today. And based on that, you'd be looking at consuming about 14,200 calories a day. So now I know we'll mainly be looking at fueling your event for today. That's what you've come here for. But definitely down the track, we can look at your day-to-day intake and just make sure you are hitting those numbers. How does that sort of sound?
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely always working on eating well, and it'd be cool to see what you think at this stage.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, sometimes we can feel like, obviously, we're eating enough. But we sometimes don't realize how much we actually need to fuel, especially when you're doing as much exercise as you do. So let's start at looking at pre-event nutrition. So race day, right? Marathons usually kick off quite early.
Yeah, so the next one I'm doing 7 a.m. start.
Yeah, awesome. That's really good information to have. So our goal is to reduce your fatigue. In order to do this, we want to make sure that your body is having sufficient energy to draw from. Now, with that being said, carbohydrates are going to be your best source of fuel. They're our body's most preferred source of fuel. So have you incorporated any sort of carbohydrates into your pre-event meals?
Yeah, I usually have a banana.
Okay, awesome. That's a really good start. Probably not going to be quite enough for a marathon. We do want to make sure, so we want to look at increasing that a little bit. And we want to make sure it's something easy to digest so you're not going to get an upset stomach. And I would recommend making sure it's not any new food, so maybe trialing something before the event. Now, having a look here again, I've jotted down some stats for you. So quantity-wise, we want to look at, 1 to 2 grams of carbs per kilo of body weight. So for you, that's going to be about 78 to 56 grams of carbs would be ideal. And then doing that, 30 to 60 minutes before your event. How does that all sound? Make sense so far?
Yeah.
Cool. So you like bananas, obviously?
Yeah, that's what I prefer before running.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, that's really good to know. So how about, I did come up with a little idea here again, which I've jotted down. How about 30 to 60 minutes before you pop that banana in, say, a bowl of Cocoa Pops with some skim milk, and I'd maybe recommend adding like 250 mils of a coffee coconut water on the side. Also providing your body with a bit of caffeine and electrolytes too. Does that sound?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, you like Cocoa Pops?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. You could definitely use something like Nutri-Grain as well, or even rice bubbles or whatever you prefer, and some skim milk. So would you be down to try that?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool. So there, some high GI foods, so digested easily, absorbed quickly, providing, a fast supply of energy that can be utilized, in that marathon to hopefully prevent some fatigue.
Yeah, sounds great.
Great. Now, do you have any questions there?
No, that's all sounds good.
All right. So now we obviously want to sustain that energy throughout your event, right? So we want to focus on carbohydrates each hour. So making sure you are consuming something, 60 grams preferably, just so that when those glycogen stores start to deplete, you start to find yourself getting fatigued, you give yourself another boost. So have you used those little gels before? No. You can get little glycogen gel kind of things. I can obviously send some through to you at the end, like some recommendations of brands that I sort of think are pretty good. 2 of those, because they've usually got about 30 grams per serve. So really easy. You can, I don't know what you have, you might have little pockets in your running shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Just 2 of those each hour, just to kind of keep those stores up. How does that sound?
Yeah, that's doable.
Yeah, cool. Amazing. So 2 gels, good strategy, keep your energy levels up.
Yeah, I've tried the fruit dried fruit and things before, but they're a little bit too tricky.
Yeah, it can be hard like eating food. That's why I thought a good suggestion would be those gels. Because it can difficult to run and eat. I imagine I'm not much of a runner myself, but yeah, and obviously digestion wise,
It is quite hard.
Yeah, I bet. Now, and they'll help with the gels too, any digestive discomfort. But again, I would trial some brands beforehand. Awesome. Now, another contributor to your fatigue I want to look at is hydration. So how do you usually go with hydrating yourself?
So I didn't have a little bit before, but not too much, so
Yeah.
I don't need to use the bathroom.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that's a pretty common answer that I get. So obviously you don't want to be drinking too much, that it does affect your that performance. On the other hand, you don't want to be dehydrated either. So we want to make sure that you're adequately fueled to prevent fatigue, cramping, and just for optimal nerve function. So between waking up, I know, like you said, it's an early event. I'd sip on between 500 to 600 mils of water. Try not to scald up because, again, digestive discomfort, and yeah, we want to avoid that.
Okay.
All right, and then during the marathon, we want to keep those fluid levels up. So sipping on water, you can include some electrolytes in that as well, just to further prevent fatigue and just maintain those fluid levels so that you don't become dehydrated. Electrolytes can be in the form of a powder. You can add it to water or even Gatorade. Have you used either of those before?
Yeah, I've used both in the past.
Amazing. So you're familiar. So again, just sipping, avoid that digestive discomfort, and just kind of listen to your body a little bit there. But that hydration is a big factor in fatigue, okay?
Yeah.
Same with your training as well. So now we've got all those nutrition and hydration strategies, so they'll all help you perform your best without the barrier, hopefully, of fatigue in place. So recovery is also going to be essential for reducing those fatigue levels. So we want to make sure that your post-race nutrition is also optimal to replenish your glycogen stores. So the body would have made good use of, your carbohydrates and everything like that, and also we want to get them back up and a bit of protein in there too for that muscle repair as well.
Yeah.
It's going to help prevent your recovery, make you feel better the next day as well, and just those fatigue levels. So I would suggest consuming 1.2 grams of carbohydrates for the first hour, each hour for the first 4 hours post the event, okay?
Yeah.
So I can obviously give you some ideas that you can kind of work off. Now, it doesn't have to be all, on the hour, each hour, as long as you're getting kind of the amount in within that 4 hours, whichever suits you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So how do you want to do it? Do you want me to give you some ideas? Have you got anything?
Probably a list of what I could eat. That'd be probably easier.
Yeah, for sure. That's too easy. Now, I do recommend, obviously, as I said, you don't have to have it all on the hour, but try and get all of that in. I have got some ideas I've written down here that I prepared earlier. So looking at your data again, we want to have 94 grams per hour, essentially. So I have written down a list. I'll run you through it. Please feel free to provide any feedback if there's something you don't like. I did have a look at your dislikes and whatnot, and seems like you're not much of a fussy eater, which is awesome.
Too fussy.
Makes my job easy. So I'll run through the list, and I'll email this all to you at the end, so you don't have to kind of absorb it all now. But 1 bagel, 15 grams of jam, and 250 mils of fruit juice is one option. Then you've got a Cliff Bar, a medium banana, and 500 mils of Gatorade. Another meal I've got here is half a cup of uncooked jasmine rice, 100 grams of chicken breast, a teaspoon of olive oil, and a cup of mixed vegetables, and then 90 grams of cereal, like Fruit Loops, cornflakes, for example, and 150 mils of skim milk. So that's what I've come up with. Is there anything that you want to adjust or clarify?
No, I'd be okay with those things. Can I eat them in any order?
Yeah, for sure. So there's a period where say straight after your marathon, you may not be hungry. Your appetite might be a bit suppressed. So you might, in that case, go for something more like the, what have we got here again? The Cliff Bar and the banana and Gatorade, or your juice and bagel, because might be a little bit easier to consume. But again, you might feel like hoeing into the jasmine rice straight away. It's completely up to you, okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. Just as long as you get it all in. That's our main thing. All right. Now, I know I've given you a lot of information today. Would you prefer this all written out in, say, some sort of a table for you to follow and kind of remember?
Yeah, I think written down would work good for me.
Yeah, amazing. So after your consult, I'll email everything through to you. I'll do up sort of a little table, so you've got like pre-race, during your race, and post-race, all your quantities and things like that. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. Now, let's move on. We've discussed fatigue, we've discussed performance goals and strategies we can implement nutritionally to reach your goals. Now, let's dive into the psychological part of your performance. So, are there any barriers that you notice mentally that affect your performance or anything like that?
So leading up to the event of the morning, I get a bit jittery.
Yeah.
Heart beats quite fast, and sometimes if I feel like if I was a bit calmer, I could probably perform better.
Yeah, for sure. So totally normal, these types of symptoms, basically, feeling that way before a race when you're a bit nervous. Do you notice any other signs like sweating, nausea, dizziness?
Yeah, sometimes butterflies and a bit uneasy in the stomach, a bit sweaty.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Tim. Sounds like you maybe experience a little bit of performance anxiety, which is super common for these big events, especially when you're aiming for a PB. But as with the nutrition, there are things that we can do to kind of reduce those feelings and make you feel a bit calmer, so you do feel more in control of that performance anxiety and the nerves, and perform hopefully better than you would do with them. Would you be keen to explore the idea of visualizations?
Yeah, for sure. I haven't heard, but I'm happy to try.
Yeah, cool. Well, it is a really amazing tool to have on your belt, and it's something that you can just do in the, quietness of your own home when you wake up in the morning or whenever suits you. It can help kind of reduce those pre-race nerves, give you like a positive focus, and kind of help, quieten those negative voices that you might have going on. It can improve focus, concentration, and at the end of the day, your overall performance, okay?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now, would you be comfortable with practicing like a visualization together?
Yeah, most definitely.
Alright, so the main thing is obviously you've got a goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get your PB, you want to put yourself on race day, right? And this is something, as I said, you can do every day. But, alright, I've wrote down a little visualization for you that I think could work really well. So what I might get you to do is close your eyes, Tim.
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable doing that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Amazing. So let's start off just closing your eyes and imagine yourself on race day. You've arrived and you're feeling calm and in control. You're excited for the race and feel well-fueled and full of energy. Imagine yourself starting the race strong, focused and in control. As you run, you feel light on your feet and fit. You complete the race with a big smile and feel tired but not debilitating fatigue. You look back at your time and you see your PB. Now let that sink in and open your eyes. Now, how did that feel?
Yeah, it was quite amazing actually.
Oh, good. And do you think this is something that you could implement daily, like even when you wake up or something like that?
Definitely.
Yeah, cool. It'll just help the more that you train your brain to think of this positive visualization and imagine yourself calm and all those good feelings, the more in control of those sort of more negative performance anxiety kind of feelings that you'll feel essentially. So again, I'll email that visualization through, but do feel free to adjust it if there's something that's more like, on race day I imagine the sun shining or whatever it is, or you want it overcast, anything that you want to put in there for your best self on race day.
Yeah.
Just to make you feel, more in control of those anxious thoughts, keep you in a positive mindset and give you a higher chance of hitting that PB, hey?
Yeah, anything to help.
Yeah, for sure. Now, obviously we've been through a lot today. Do you have any questions about anything we discussed today?
No, it's all been pretty clear, thanks.
Great. Now, getting towards the end of our session, I just kind of want to confirm your understanding of everything we've been through today. I'm not going to test you word for word, but what are your takeaways from today?
So probably just the focus on fueling with the carbohydrates for my marathon, using the gels throughout the race.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm drinking enough, but just sips and use the electrolytes. And also you'll send me through this for my post-race food and also to do my visualizations daily.
Nice. You are going to be easy to work with. I'm glad you took all of that in, and I'm really excited to sort of see how you go with everything. And I'll send it out to you like you said. All your plan, please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Now, as far as how I work is obviously we want to get some sessions in and whatnot. Usually, 2 to 3 weeks is usually good. I know you've got a marathon coming up shortly. So how about we book something in now for post-marathon just to see how those strategies went for you?
Yeah, probably about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
If you could do that.
Amazing. So I can pop you in. Is same time okay?
Yeah.
Works for you?
Yeah.
Great. Same time in 3 weeks. And I'll pop you in, and I'm super pumped to hear about it. Come with any feedback. Obviously, your input is really important. We'll see how you've gone and see if there's any tweaks we need to make.
Awesome. Thanks, Tara.
No worries. Lovely to meet you, Tim. And
Thank you.
all the best with the PB.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks.
See ya.